What's happening, Facebook? Hello, YouTube. We are Scott and Rachel. We're here with Chris and Nethra with a powerful interview from Belligerent to Blessed. So we are welcoming Chris and Nethra. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey guys, good to see you. As we dive in, I just want to start off by saying Chris and Nethra have been such a blessing to us. It's been so fun to get to know them. And you two have been incredible. You've put in the work. And we just honor you for being here on our call tonight.
Yes. Chris and Nethra are entrepreneurs. They are small business owners. They are kingdom-minded Jesus people. They're from St. Louis, one of our favorite cities in the country. And they have so many talents, homeschool parents. They just have a heart for the kingdom. And they have a powerful story to share. So if you are out there tonight and you have felt like your husband or your wife has been belligerent, if you have been frustrated with conflict, this is for you. This is such a testimony of hope. So tune in. So Chris and Nethra, we're so excited to have you. Welcome again.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yes. So first we want to say, tell us a little bit about like, what's your day-to-day life look like as you guys are running your business and raising your children and homeschooling and juggling so many things?
I think you said a key word, juggle.
Yes.
It's definitely a juggle, but it balances and it works out well. And it's definitely a blessing to be at home with all of us here. Homeschooling, it's a balance of homeschooling the kids, and he's also working while we're homeschooled, or he might be writing some music or doing something, but it's a balance. It's a blessing for all of us to just be here. And Chris gets involved sometimes too with the homeschool, so that's cool too. So yeah.
I love that.
I think it's a complete blessing to be able to not have to go to work, because before I was working, and when I went to work, my kids were going to school. By the time I got off, they would sleep, so I never got to see them, and me and my wife get to spend that much time together. It's just a blessing to be here, and be more present like that. So.
Absolutely.
Yes. You guys are such good parents, and it's exciting to see how you've launched businesses and all of that. But when you came to us, tell us kind of where were you at with the marriage? What was going on, and why did you seek out some help?
Well, I go, so our marriage was just, a deserted place, I would say. All this, all I can really say is just, we were just in a bad place, hopeless. I felt like I was feeling hopeless. I'm not sure if she was feeling the same. I know I was just feeling hopeless because I just kept feeling like no matter what I said, it was being misconstrued and turned into what she was hearing something different than what I was saying. And I was like, man, it's getting frustrating because I'm like, I'm saying I love her, I care about her, but like, man, I felt like she didn't love me, So it was, I was feeling pretty hopeless.
And I would like to add that our communication was totally broken down. We were speaking Japanese. He was not understanding what I was saying, and I was not understanding what he was saying. In that, because our communication was broken down, there was a lot of hurt in that. We could not understand each other. And we came to we were at our wits' end. And for me, divorce was never an option, even though we may have said that. I think it was more of just wanting the pain to stop. That's how I felt about it. And if us going separate ways, if the pain would stop, then I think we were fine with that. But that's not how God wanted it to be. And that's not eventually how we wanted it to be. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I know so many of you couples out there listening in and tuning in, watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, you can identify with that, where the communication feels like it's broken and you feel like you're speaking two different languages. Anything you say, he just takes it to mean something else. Somebody's offended, somebody's hurt. And trust me, we've been there too. So in the midst of that, like, what was the hardest part about it? Thinking like, I don't want to break these vows. I don't want to split our kids up. Here you are working from home together, and yet you can't get along. I mean, when you're confined and we're not getting along, that's really hard. So what was the toughest part about where you guys were at? Just seeing like, will divorce make the pain go away? Or, what was it for you guys?
Just being misunderstood, just having that feeling of like, dang, I care about this person. And no matter how much I love them, tell them I love them, show them I love them, I felt like it wasn't appreciated, reciprocated, you know what I mean? And I felt like, and that's just a horrible feeling to me, you know, and plus we just coming through a pandemic. So we being locked down in the house together for all that time. And just think that would bring your family closer. And it did in the beginning, but then it drifted. After a while, it started becoming a burden, you know, just being in the house together all the time like that. So I felt like once the communication broke down, and it was just like, we was just like going to our separate corners every day.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Amazing, guys. And I just want to honor you because you came in and when we started working together, both of you dove in and said, I'm tired of the way things were, and you were ready for something different. And so tell us when you first started noticing that things were changing and how that felt for you.
Oh, after we began the program?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So things started changing in the very, very beginning. As soon as we started, because of the tools that is provided through you all's program, and because of our dedication to do it together, I feel like the change began to happen immediately. So whether it was on the first call, just us being on, you know, a part of the with the other people that were, you know, on the calls, us doing the coursework, it was just immediately because we were doing it together. That was my favorite part, is that we're both all in together, doing it. So yeah.
To me, it started once we. So I'm the one who found, I found the commercial, and I seen the commercial, and I was like, everything he was saying in the commercial, it was resonating with me. I'm like, this is me, you know. I'm like, man, I feel like this. I told her when I told her about it, and she was like, okay, well, let's do it. That kind of was showing me that, okay, she do care, you know, because if she didn't care, she could have just said, nah, I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? So once she agreed and said, okay, let's look into it and do it or whatever, I said, okay. And what really pulled me in was just to know that God was for our marriage. Because, you know, like when we initially talked, I told you we didn't have the funds to get in the program, you know. So for the miracle to happen like it happened for us to get into the program, it just showed me that not only is she with the marriage, but God is for it. And that bigger picture kind of really just said, oh yeah, we need to do this. So
yes.
And that's a cool story, Chris. And it's kind of like a God story. And I've told a few other people when I've been on the phone with them, because what happened was when I invited you into our program and we invited you guys to invest with us, invest in your marriage, you honestly didn't have it. So what was that God moment of like, how did it show up?
It was like a divine just happening. But when we were on the phone in the call, and it was so good. Even the webinar was good. And then when we did the call, the conversation was really good. And when we came to the end of the conversation and we were like, okay, we didn't have it, we hung up the phone. And I mean, like immediately after my husband hung up the phone, I went to the mailbox to check the mail. I opened up the mailbox, got out the mail, and I seen a check. I was like, hold on, this looked like a check. I opened it and I looked at it, and I stood there in a minute in shock before I said something to my husband, because we were not expecting a check. We were not expecting a check from where we got a check. And I opened it up and I went to my husband. I was like, you are not going to believe this. He looked and he was in shock. And he was like, oh my goodness. He was like, well, we're going to have to call her back. he wanted to call like back,
when you was telling us about it, and you were saying the price. You know how when you talking to somebody, you know you don't have the money, you like, I want to end the call. I'm trying to end the call. We need to go because I'm telling you, like, we don't have it, you know. And so I was like, we don't have it. I was like, I love to do it, but I'm like, we just don't have it. I said, I remember I told you, I said, if we had the money to do it, I would do it. And then the money came. Then I felt like, man, Lord, I just said, if we had the money to do it, I would do it. So at that point, I was like, we ain't gonna take this money and go do something else with it. I'm like, I feel like God sent that money for us to make an investment into our marriage.
Yeah.
So it was a great investment. You know, I'm glad we made the right decision because we had other stuff going on. You know, we could have just been like, but I felt like, you know, everything was lining up to say, man, this is God. Like, you're going to take the step God got for you or not.
And it happened so. And just this last thing, it happened so quick because from the time that we ended the call to going to the mailbox, that was like within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it happened quickly.
Right.
I remember when I turned around, the phone's ringing and it's Chris Hill. I'm like, what's going on? I'm about to get on my next phone call. So it's, you know, what's amazing though, guys, is that there's a lot of people who are scared to invest. They're scared to, you know, what if it doesn't work? They're, you know, and then if they're not willing to get resourceful, or they're locked into the hopelessness and just like, well, it's one more thing that's not going to work. But the thing that you did, Chris, was you were like, no, we're doing this. I'm walking in obedience. I said, I told the Lord, if we had it, we would do it. And here you are. And it's like, so let's talk about, I mean, obviously things changed very quickly for you. So tell us kind of like, what's the communication like now? Are you guys learning how to speak each other's language now, or what's going on? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I would say we are learning how to speak each other's language, and our communication is growing. Our communication is open, it's heartfelt, it's also fun, it's also it's just a lot that's there for us that I believe that we didn't have before, and it's so peaceful. Not to say that we're, you know, perfect, but when I say peaceful, now God is with really truly within our hearts to make us want to keep it together, make us want to understand one another, and to apply these tools, which we have some favorite tools that we learned that we apply. Right. So
I always tell her, don't be trying to turn around marriage me.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's so good.
That's awesome, you guys.
Just as a follow-up, is it fair to say the kids have noticed too? You guys have a beautiful family.
Yeah, they've noticed, and they are they're following suit as well, I would say. Yeah. So
that is amazing.
A big difference too.
I love it.
That's amazing.
They do what we do, not what we say, right? So for them to follow your all's example now, love it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So let me just ask you guys, there's a lot of people out there tonight that are listening, and maybe they'll hear the recording later. And they're going to be in similar shoes as you, and they're you know, they've tried things and they're so disconnected, and it seems so hopeless. And what would you say to those folks that were stuck like you guys were just a number of months ago and feeling like there isn't any hope for them or for their marriage? What would you say?
Did you want to go?
I would just say, I guess that there is hope. I mean, I can't believe like you. So we've been to counseling before. We've been counseled with a couple of different pastors and everything. And, you know, the thing I think that was different about turnaround marriage to me that helped us was it focused on the positive. Like a lot of times people think they're gonna fix their problems by just hashing out all this negative stuff, go into all these negative things. Let's talk about the negative. And that never helped us. You know, it never helped us. But it seemed like the program, I feel like, man, I would say to anybody that's out there feeling hopeless, I mean, give turnaround marriage a chance. If you have the means to be in this program, then you want to save your marriage, and it's value. If you value your marriage, then you know, make that investment that you need to make. Because I mean, like, I don't know where we would be today if we wouldn't have went through this program. Literally, I don't even know if we would be together. I don't know if that's like I couldn't fathom the thought of splitting our family up like that. But like she was saying, if you can't keep hurting every day, you know, something gonna end up happening, especially if nothing's getting better, you know. So to make that hard turn, you know, like y'all be saying all the time, turn the needle in another direction. You know, you hear people talk that talk, but when you start seeing that stuff working in your everyday life and you living together, then it's like, man, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So what I would say is like, give it a shot, you know, give it a shot and put your heart into it, you know, and let God be in the midst of your marriage like he's supposed to be.
So one of the things that I would add, I would say, if a couple is hopeless, this is definitely a way that will give you hope. The program will give you hope. How the program is set up will give you hope. The love that's in this program, the love that comes from you all, the genuineness, and just throughout the course, and also being able to participate with other people. All of it, you can feel the love in it. And when you yield to it, when you just be in the atmosphere, a different atmosphere, where you know that someone is truly for your marriage turning around, it gives you hope. All of that adds to the hope. All of it does.
Also, just being on the lives on Tuesday night and seeing, man, you know what, our marriage not the only one going through that. You know, that other people have problems, and some of the problems they have are some of the same issues we going through. Let me know that we not the only couple going through these issues, and it take a little bit of the strain off to know that.
Yeah, and then I would say the last thing is the way that you all have the program set up. It's almost like a wooing that's going on. It's almost like just a call to where God is like pulling and tugging on your heart, like in every part of it. Just even in the conversations that you all have and how you have it set up. One of the things that I love is the accountability. There's accountability that happens when you all set up our meetings inside of the program. And it's just, yeah, it's so much that I could say, but I believe that you would once you get in, you're not going to be disappointed. Once you get in and you make the investment, you like couples, you are worth the investment. And there's something that you're not going to leave empty-handed at all, especially if you're all in, especially if two people are all in, and even if it's not. Like one person will benefit so much because one person could take something and God will multiply like what that person has and what they're bringing back from what they're learning from the program. So yeah,
that's beautiful.
That's so awesome, you guys. And the love that we all share. It is fun to be on the journey together because, and not just fun, but necessary. You know, God designed us for that. And what the enemy of your soul, if you're out there, what he wants to do is isolate you and make you feel like you are the only one, make you feel shame and guilt, and just keep you small and stuck and keep you not wanting to reach out because of embarrassment or whatever. We're here to say, like, the struggle is real. We're on this planet. We're married to a sinner. We're a sinner.
She's pointing at me and she says that. I guess it must be true.
we need each other. We need the Lord. And what we say, Chris and Nether, is our program is a personal discipleship course, cleverly disguised as a marriage program, because that's really our heart, is to help people turn things around for the glory of God and to build the kingdom. And I know you guys are after that mission as well. You guys being entrepreneurs, we wanted to give you guys a shout out and let people have a chance to hear about what you guys do, so that, because I love, Nethra, your business, Destiny Creators. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And then Chris, we'd love to hear about your two businesses that are so I love kingdom minded. So Nethra, tell us about Destiny Creators.
So Destiny Creators is where I produce products that cultivate a healthy mindset for kids, for moms, for dads, just for the whole entire family. Family is definitely my heart. So whatever I create, whatever I produce, it's towards investing in the mindset of kids, moms, dads, and families. So I create scripture cards, I create affirmation cards, I create just even journals for people to be able to use to write out, you know, their feelings, their emotions, just mental wellness type of products and things like that. So that's the basis of my business, and it's called Destiny Creators. It's named after our middle child, Destiny. My husband and I named our daughter Destiny, but I say it's Destiny Creators because it even have a kingdom mindset behind it. Because only God can give us our destiny. Only God could, and we live after His nature. He's very creative, so that's where the creators part come from. So in that way, we are the same as people, and I tie it into first beginning with having the mind of Christ to be able to mimic him, be transformed by him. But it starts like with your mind. So that's why I make a lot of the products that are scripture cards, affirmation cards, all that, so that you can have the mind of Christ to go after Christ and be transformed by Christ and stuff like that. And because I love family so much, that's why I make them for men, I make them for women, and make them for children. And I also the way the images I use, I want them to reflect heaven. So that's why I have ones that are for African Americans, Caucasians, and different nationalities. So that's
love
what
it.
it is.
Yeah, these are really impressive, and I definitely highly recommend people check that out. It's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, and I love so much how you are all about teaching people how to renew their mind. That's a big thing we do in our program. And to
Yes, it
have
is.
those reminders in front of you constantly is such a good product. DestinyCreators.co. You can check it out and learn more and see some of Nethra's beautiful work. And Chris, tell us about your videography businesses and how you are helping to build the kingdom that way.
So I have a business called The Storytellers. This is my main business. I do a lot of I just tell a lot of stories from I try to create from a kingdom perspective to try to put things in front of people that will change their heart. I feel like a movie, part of a movie is supposed to move you. So if you don't feel anything when you're watching something, then something's not right to me. So I make a lot of emotionally charged stuff, stuff that's gonna make people think, stuff that's gonna make people feel, and I feel like that's what God gifted me to do. So that's why I named the business The Storytellers, because that's what we're good at, telling the story. So it can be I've interviewed the last war vet from Iwo Jima. Just I try to, like, I've interviewed so many quality people, just not just quality, but like random, awesome, amazing people. This the last guy to survivor from Iwo Jima. So I'm like, man, I don't know how I interviewed him, but like to hear him tell his story, to hear him tell it and be able to piece together the video I made that just make you feel like this guy, you know what he been through. You make you feel like you've been there. Yeah, that was, just so I've had videos that go like my class project when I was learning videography went on to get into like 13 film festivals worldwide. So once that happened, I just had a bug for it. Like, man, I could create something that's gonna move people like this, and I've just been doing that ever since. The other portion of the Storytellers is an arm of it is called Legacy Films. And I got that because God was telling me how important our memories are. Like even when I look at this program, I'm like, man, ever since going through her, but even before her, we created great memories together. So it's really just about gathering those memories up and making them into a memorial that people can have and pass down from generation to generation. Something that you can pass down, and I call it legacy films because it's something that's going to create a legacy. Because I want you to be able to tell your story to your grandkids, to your kids' kids, to your kids' kids' kids. Something that can be in your family, and like you can have pictures in the box, but pictures can get burned up or water can get on them or anything can happen. But this is like taking those pictures that you have sitting around your home and putting them into a memorial video, something that you can bring back all those memories. When you see it, it bring back memories and nostalgia automatically just by looking at it, and you can pass it down your lineage. So that's it. That's
Yes.
just trying to make an impact. Same way as my wife, just big on family, you know, and wanting to make family stronger, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You guys are trendsetters, you know, and in your community and in your family. It's just such an honor to know you guys. And, you know, one of the things we teach in our program all the time is, you know, we as image bearers of God, we are little C creators, right? He gave us creativity. He gave us a passion to build something, create something. And you guys with your businesses are doing that. But every single one of us, we're doing that in our families. What are we building? What are we creating? And are we creating something that's powerful, that's going to leave a legacy, that's going to honor God, that's going to reflect the love of God to our children and our children's children? And just for you guys to, the way you've like shown up, been so coachable, so open, so willing to invest what you had, and let's see how God is going to use that. So for those of you out there looking to connect with Chris and Nethra, you can learn about them, like I said, at destinycreators.co or the power of, what was the other one? Oh, the Storytellers 314. Chris is also a rapper and he creates music as well. And so you guys, these guys are so much fun. They're the real deal from St. Louis. And I know you guys would tell people if they're struggling in their marriage and they're looking for help, they're looking for someone who will love them, who will equip them with tools, and who really will empower them to turn their marriage around. I know you would encourage them to book that call with us, right?
Absolutely.
And the complimentary breakthrough call, was it awful? Was it encouraging? Like, was it eye-opening? Did it help you? Like, tell us about that call.
It made me want more. I'm like, so it was good. It was so good that I felt like, man, we got value from it. So that's what made me say, man, if we had the money, because you know, you would tell somebody anything to get off the phone when you don't want it. You like, okay, whatever, you know. When I sincerely said, man, if we had the money for it, we would, because I feel like we had got value out of just that call. I literally feel like I got value out of the ad that I saw from the beginning. I'm like, man, this ad, I'm like, this, nah, I said, this something different. I said, this speaking right to me right now. It was like, God, you know how when you hear a good sermon, you like, nah, that was for me. Yeah. And it felt like the commercial was speaking right to me. I'm like, man, it's me right now, right where I am. So that's what made me tell my wife, I'm like, man, you need to look at this video.
Yeah,
and I was like,
really good. It was, the video. I don't want to cut you off, but one of the things that I want to say about that call is that you can feel the sincerity coming from you, Rachel. It was very sincere. And I said when we did get off the car, I was like, yeah, she don't play in a good way. I said because
I can attest.
She ran. I feel like she ran our whole life back after sitting and listening, but you connected the dots very well. And when we did answer the questions, it was like, okay, well, like you all got to be ready to go, you know. But it was really good and it was very sincere. So just even booking that call and even the webinar, because it was a lot in that webinar. It was a lot in the webinar. So yeah.
Thank you guys. Well, Scott's going to put the link up there. You can go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call. We offer that complimentary call. Let's see if we're a good fit to work together. Let's see if you are sick and tired of being in that belligerent state, that frustrated state, speaking two different languages. If that's you and you're ready to go from belligerent to blessed, like Chris and Nethra, if you're ready to leave that legacy for your children, go to turnaroundmarriage.com/live for our webinar, or .com/call for that breakthrough call. And guys, we're here to serve you. We're here to help you. We're here to advance the kingdom of God. And let's take back some of that ground that the enemy has taken.
Yeah, Chris and Nethra, we honor you too. And I just, as we sum up, and I'm hearing so much of your story, our God brought our paths together, and He is a God of hope and restoration. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing had we not gone through the difficulties. And I know what God is going to do with the two of you because of the things you've gone through. He is a redemptive God. He has great things in store for you to do, and blessings that you couldn't even imagine, for sure. And so I would just wrap up tonight by just saying, maybe those that are out there that are hearing this tonight, with whether that means with Turnaround Marriage or something else, whatever it is, our God is a redemptive God, and you have every reason to hope, not because of your circumstances, but because in the God who is above and is above those circumstances and able to use all of those circumstances for his purposes in his glory. So Nethra and Chris, we love you guys. We're looking forward to seeing what God has in store in the future. And we thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
All right, thanks
Thank
for having
you. We
us.
love you all too.
Good night,
Love you
everybody.
guys.
Turnaroundmarriage.com/call for that breakthrough call. We'll talk to you guys very soon.